When we had last left Team Bald, they finally had a super showdown with the super demon Baldur at the top of the Tower of Basalt in Avernus, and after which they had rescued Own Argent, and Kalar decided to stay behind to reseal the demonic portal using her divine essence, blood, whatever it was that was special about her. And back at Castle Dragonspear, there was much celebration, much joy and mirth, but also murder. For Team Bald in their twilight hours disbanded because Garion's ward was accused of killing the incredibly annoying Ski Silver Shield. Did they do it because she kind of looked like she turned into a demon? But it was the hooded man who was behind it all, and indeed planted the special Soul Taker dagger inside of her heart, killing her and taking her soul into the heart. Now, that meant probably Ski would show up as a really annoying talking weapon or something in the future. Sounded possible. But either way, now Garion's ward sought to escape her shackles and escape confinement within Baldur's Gate. Heading to where? It was unclear, perhaps to Waterdeep. But, for now, she was alone. This is Baldur's Gate, Siege of Dragonspear. Welcome back. And welcome to what may be a comically very short video, as it turns out. Apparently, this might be a really funnily short video. Like, I may just walk to the end of the room and we might be done.
Don't worry about me.
As it turns out. Look, I had no idea. I didn't know. All right. Let's see. Surely there will be, like, one enemy. Right? Like a skeleton or whatever. Or a green slime. Hey, there we go. Oh, shit. Okay, great. Man, should we be going right or left here? I don't know. Here, maybe we should go to the left. Because, you know, it's common instinct in video games to go to the right. Ever since the times of Super Mario. Let's check over here. Oh, look. Yeah, there is like a passage we can go through. I don't know if we should, however. Exit to surface, yeah. Do we want to do that? Or continue looking around here? I think we continue looking around through here. See what's up, if anything. Another green slime. It may just be like green slimes all over town, right? Okay. Oh, shit. Big old wormulons. Okay. Oh my gosh. They're holding me. Oh shit. Well, that's not good. Am I about to die to these wormulons? This is bad. This is mean. This is just mean. Why would you why would you do this? This is like fighting a fucking scrib in Morrowind early game and getting fucked up by its paralysis attack, right? That's what this is. This is mean. Am I for real just fucked? I'm just fucked. I'm dead. I'm dead as hell. Slain. The hero of Baldur's Gate. Killed by fucking wormulons.
Oh.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I love it. Okay.
Don't worry
Great.
about me.
I guess we better equip our better fucking ring, huh? Shit, do we even have it, though? Do I still even have it? I don't know if I even have a ring anymore. Because it was probably in... Oh, thank God we've got one. Okay. Okay, let's Drop that on the ground. There we go. Oh, I was worried it was like in the bag of holding, which we do not have at all. Okay, over here. Let's continue back over this way. Look, maybe they are guarding something, some amazing like lore or whatever. I don't know. Because that's another consideration is like, what are we really going to keep with us here? Right? We know that a very limited amount of items are actually going to carry over. Let's see, take care of the slime. I guess at the very least we're getting some measure of experience points. That's worthwhile, I guess. Let's do a quick enrage just as well. Pretty sure, yeah, they're like really easy to kill. Okay. Anything else up here? Let's do a quick save again. Hey, there is something here. What is it? This small door hidden in the rock has a keyhole in it. Oh, fuck. I do not have a key. Okay, well. That's not good. Well, what the hell? What do I do? Oh, dear. Okay. I can't, like, go in there, can I? Can I actually continue through that? I thought I came through that grate, but maybe not? Look, I can click there. Yeah, okay. I guess we go exit to surface, wherever this puts us? Man, the keyhole situation is very peculiar.
Oh!
And we don't have the key. Maybe it's like a hidden area or whatever. Like you had to find the key somewhere? Oh, Imwin.
You made it. Oh, that's great. I was scared you wouldn't.
Imoen, how did you know where to find me? You and me both. You should never have doubted I would find a way to freedom. I never did. I thought I was leaving the city in secret. Imoen, how did you find me? Oh. Duke Shanath told me what was happening. She offered to send a messenger if I wanted to keep training with her, but No, I wouldn't do that to you.
I'm so sorry. I should never have let you go to Dragonspear without me.
I missed you too, more than you know. I'm glad you weren't there, Imoen. Some of the things I saw will haunt me the rest of my days. You make it sound as though you could stop me. Yeah, I'm... like, I don't know if they'll haunt me, but... we did literally go to, like, hell. I'm glad you weren't there, Imoen. I went to hell.
But if I'd been there, maybe... I don't know. Maybe things would have been different.
I don't know, maybe. Well, we're together again now, and that's the way it's going to stay. I'm not letting you out of my sight ever again. Come on, the sooner we're away from here, the better. Okay. Are you in my
Don't
party?
worry about
No, you're
me.
not. I've been reunited with Imwin. Now I must leave Baldur's Gate for a time. Okay. Imwin, have you seen a mystery key, by the way? Oh, I can click here. Oh, shit. Hey, I can go back to all these places. Whoa. Weird. Well, I can't go over to the bridge. It is unreachable. Oh, actually, all of them are unreachable. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't actually read any of that. They're actually, every single one of them is completely unreachable. So is there like a key out here hidden somewhere? For like special people to find? Like you find a secret key and you go into the room and there's like a weird little fun Easter egg? Hey, it's Jaheira! Oh, it's dinner here, it's Minsk!
Hey, everyone. I got him.
Whoa!
Rejoice, Boo! Our friends have returned to us.
Oh, dinner here's not gonna... okay. It is good to see thee, Lila Schnub. I am glad the council saw past thy blood to thy heart. This viper's pit of a city has wronged you, Lila Schnub, but you are not alone. Do not let despair overtake your heart. You have your freedom at least, and with freedom there is hope.
Could we maybe talk about this someplace, you know, far away from here?
Before we do that, I need to thank you, all of you, for joining me in my hour of need. Hey, would Khalid have been here? Oh, man. I kind of feel bad about it now, but what can you do? Like, what was it? You know, like, we did reload a save to save Kalar, but in my defense, like, the Boryaskar Bridge situation was way more contentious, I feel, than fighting Belhafet, you know? That felt way harder. That felt like the hardest part of the expansion for me, at least. Before we go, I am well acquainted with most of our friends here, but there's at least one face here I didn't expect to see. Really? Who? Who? Wait, who would we have not expected to see? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's like if you're an evil character and you've pissed off Jaheira. That gives you an opportunity to roleplay? As far away as possible. Let's go. We shall leave at the time of my choosing. Before we do that, I need to thank you, all of you, for joining me in my hour of need. The Council of Four might not be willing to stand by you, but I always will. Now, let's get some distance between you and Duke Silvershield, all right?
Forward!
Oh. I guess we'll never get that key. I wonder what was behind there. What a secret area.
I'm pretty sure the Flaming Fist isn't on our trail. Can we take a break? Just for a minute?
Okay. Whoa. A small map.
You want it? You got it.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Oh.
Do you feel a little off?
No way. Is she going... Is it about to be revealed that that M1 is... No way.
Your eyes burn as a thin, acrid mist rises from the ground and envelops you. Your mind clouds. Shadowed figures strike and fade away. Your companion's cries echo in your skull, and the world around you fades to gray.
All right, never mind. That's not what I thought was about to... Oh. Wait, that's it? That's how it ends? Oh my god. They ended like we don't know, like we wouldn't know what was coming up next. They ended like that? Like we're not supposed to know when this came out like years and years after Baldur's Gate 2? Fuck. And they're right, like, I guess I don't know. Oh, that's mean too. That's very mean. What about the little fucking locked area? I wonder what was there. Oh man, the music here is like really quiet as well. Well, like I said, comically short video this time. That's the end of Baldur's Gate, Siege of Dragonspear. Da 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 da. Good lord, what the fuck? I'm very much looking forward to Baldur's Gate 2, right? It gets a lot of fucking fanfare. People saying it is quite good. But speaking of that, I'm thinking, because December is always like a super busy month for me, we would still play Fallout 2 after Baldur's Gate, Siege of Dragonspear. That was always like in the cards. So we'll start up Fallout 2, I think, at the beginning of 2023, because I'm just like fucking stacked and busy, and also I decide to start playing Pentiment every fucking day. Right? Oh, there's no post-credits Easter egg teasing our next game. But thank you for staying to the end anyway. Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition credits. Huh. Okay, well, you're very welcome. But, wait, Mark Meir was in this? Fucking Shepard? Both Shepards were in this? Who was Mark Meir voicing? No way, could you... What if Mark Meir was voicing Glint? That would be fucking incredible. That would be fucking incredible if Mark Meir were voicing Glint and doing, like, just the worst fucking annoying voice of all time. Anyway. Yeah, so we'll take a break with this slot. Like, we typically always do take a break with a slot whenever we finish it. It's just, like, we rarely get to see that happen with the slot that, Skyrim is currently occupying, because that's been going on for 400 fucking videos. But trust me when I say that between Oblivion and Skyrim, there was a bit of a time where there were no videos coming out on those days. It's just been a really long time since that occurred. But anyway, we will take a bit of an extended break here, unless I get things wrapped up a little bit more quickly, right? Wow. LeBron James also was working on Baldur's Gate. Why did it say LeBron James there? Okay, maybe it was just someone's, like, username or whatever, right? They were just like, yeah, I'm LeBron James. Okay, sure. But, good lord, I keep getting thrown off track by the fucking wild-ass credits. Yeah, go for the eyes. Right, of course. But, sorry. We'll have a like, break for this slot. However, Pentiment will probably fill up quite a few days' worth of it, depending on how long Pentiment is, because it's a bit on the shorter side as well. But, mostly that is due to the fact that it is December, right? Holiday season, all of that. Christmas time, New Year's time. Every December, I go to try to see and, like, stay with my mom for roughly a week or so. She does, like, an annual Christmas party. So I try to do that, you know, familial time. You know, Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, though I got almost all of that already accomplished. Also, like I said, New Year's, and I'm a December birthday person. I have a birthday in December, so hey, there's that as well. And on top of it, as if that wasn't enough, I also have to do and work on a end-of-year Morrowind annual song, right? Which I've only got, like, 2 more of those, including this year, because it is quite a lot to do, and I'm rapidly running out of ideas because I'm not a music person, right? I mean, like, we'll mention it in the Morrowind annual when it rolls around, but when we do get to that point, I still want to do, like, the retrospective and all that for the year, and we definitely will. I do enjoy that, and it's, like, not really much work. But as far as making a song every year, eventually we will retire that, because I'm not a music person. I can't keep coming up with them, like, I'm running out of shit. I don't fucking know. It's a miracle that I've been going this long with it, frankly, I think. But anyway, because of that extra work, I'm not gonna, like, stress myself out trying to get it all done, especially since, you know, like I said, December is always reliably a busy time for me, right? Let's see, anything else? Yeah, we got that out of the way. Let's fucking talk about what we thought of Siege of Dragonspear. I feel like, you know, what more can be said that we haven't said during the playthrough, right? It's okay, right? Some folks said that it was pretty bad. I didn't think it was pretty bad. Like, it just seemed alright. It seemed like a bog standard sort of CRPG of 2016, which is when it came out, right? It's fairly standard. It feels normal, you know? I thought weird shit was them choosing which lines to be voiced and which ones to not be. I thought that was a little weird. I thought it would have made a lot more sense to have, like, the first line of every dialogue be voiced, and maybe that was initially the case, but they just added in more text, right? And it's sort of just how it worked out. It layered on top. I don't know. Also, obviously one of the worst issues was when it cropped up a few times, is how their hands were kind of forced with the storytelling, you know, how they were kind of like ramped into one section, funneled into it, because they had to get the story. Like, it was a lot about like setting the stage, and they had to hit certain story beats and so forth. And they also wanted to make reference, I guess, to like events that will occur in Baldur's Gate 2 and maybe other stuff like Planescape Torment, right? It sounds like there was also a bit of like Icewind Dale maybe as well. I don't know. I haven't played any of them. Maybe someday. Hopefully someday. But yeah, a few of those instances, like when we were parlaying with when we were parlaying with Kalar toward the end of the game, that was probably the biggest issue with that, was when we just couldn't remark about like, yeah, we found out about Heffernan. We know Heffernan is up to no fucking good. Here's our proof. We couldn't even say that, right? It would have been so much better if we could have said something there, because we had proof, right? We had, not only did we go in and see Heffernan speaking with, I assume, Belhafet and all of that, and sort of alluding to their dark and sinister plans. Sure, maybe we don't bring that up because that was more incidental, but they literally gave us a quest to get proof of the Crusade being corrupted from within for the other Rashomon travelers. Remember the group that was a mirror of Minsk and Dinner here? We literally had physical evidence in the form of that necromantic ritual or whatever, where they were doing that fucked up shit underground, underneath, deep underneath the caverns already, which were underneath the castle. We had proof of that, and the side quest literally described it as proof of the corruption of the Crusade, and we could not even bring that up to them, right? During the parlay. We couldn't say that to Kalar to be like, hey, actually, I think Heffernan is a piece of shit and is up to no fucking good. Here's my proof, look at this, right? And even if they did want to keep you going on that route, like we said before in the time when it happened, they should have just acknowledged it and been like, I don't believe you. This could have been manufactured evidence. This could have been fabricated or whatever, right? That's how they should have handled it. And I think this also happened once more at the first bridge that got blown up. Not at Boriskir Bridge, but at the first one when we tried to cross the winding water. I forgot what it even was there, but that was definitely the biggest example of just sort of like the dialogue options on offer to the player sort of failing the interests of the player, so to speak, right? That was pretty glaring, I feel. But otherwise, like, I don't know. It was alright, right? It was okay. I liked the way in which the companions and stuff felt a lot more involved and felt more fleshed out as real-ass characters. But like we said, a lot of the things that I like about Siege of Dragonspear, they're just kind of like bog-standard improvements that you would expect of a 2016 CRPG, right? It's not like pushing the envelope or developing any particularly new and interesting ideas like we've said this a million times before about Siege of Dragonspear. Right? It's okay. It's solid, right? It's all right. All that cool shit, a lot of that did happen with the original Baldur's Gate, and from the sounds of it, Baldur's Gate 2, where they were pushing the envelope and were sort of establishing tropes that would carry on into many future CRPGs and like Real Time with Pause Infinity Engine games, right? They were, with these two games, they were establishing what would be a legacy that would go forward and continue and be built upon, right? Whereas with Siege of Dragonspear, they're sort of using that same legacy, right? And like, they're just kind of going with the flow, right? It's not pushing the envelope or like developing anything new, right? It's sort of just a matter of perspective of how you look at it, I guess, right? Like, I don't know, it just feels kind of peculiar in a way when you play it chronologically, I guess, right? Like, this definitely does feel like, yeah, it feels better made But it's important to keep in mind, like, sort of, like I said, the legacy of the games involved, right? Like, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, like, right, they established so many things going forward that so many other games used, which I think is, they definitely deserve credit for, and is the reason to play, especially Baldur's Gate 1, for, like, an academic reason, because there are definitely weak points of Baldur's Gate 1 where a lot of the side content feels very, I don't know, fairly uninteresting. There's a few side quests that are pretty cool and fun, but a lot of it just feels more like busy work. But that's because they were like, you know, they were building a lot of this from the fucking ground up, right? There were very few examples of other people doing games like this at the time, you know? And then certainly Baldur's Gate was like the big runaway hit of the time, right? Baldur's Gate and Fallout were the two biggest ones, I believe, of the era that a lot of people just like ran away with as far as sort of taking ideas and building upon them, right? I don't know. It's a very interesting way of looking at the games academically, right? I do very much appreciate going through it all and sort of taking that in. And I could very easily just as well see someone like sort of get tired of either of the games because of those reasons, like if you're not willing to interact with it on a more academic level or whatever. At the very least, I would be like, yeah, I can totally see why you would want to just like mainline this story, right? Let's see. Yeah, like also, like I said, with Siege of Dragonspear, it just takes a lot of more common things that are established nowadays and uses them to good effect, right? Like, not outstanding effect, but it's decent, right? Like, for example, a lot of the specialized and fun equipment. I feel like itemization is a lot more fun in Siege of Dragonspear relative to the core game of Baldur's Gate, right? It, like I said, it just builds off of what Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 sort of built up, right? It's just sort of using the lessons of the past. And it's made like a competent expansion, but a flawed one, right? Like, I wouldn't write home about like, oh, you have to play Siege of Dragonspear, right? But, it's alright. It's alright. Let's see, is there anything else? We touched on the voice acting, we touched on all that. I do feel like also because it's a lot tighter, Siege of Dragonspear, it's a lot smaller of an experience relative to Baldur's Gate 1, right? Like, this is still a pretty decent chunk of playthrough, all things considered. Especially for me, of course, because, you know, I always take a bit longer. I think reading stuff aloud contributes to that, right? Because even if you're, like, a slower reader, it tends to be like you can read it a lot quicker in your mind, even if you do it more slowly. It felt a lot more balanced as far as power level is concerned, right? Because Baldur's Gate 1, we definitely ran into issues where it was like, we just got so fucking overpowered because it's like an enormous game. And I don't really know how you get around that with big games, right? I can't think of really any enormous game that has like itemization and progression through itemization that remains challenging throughout, unless it is specifically like a role-playing game that is designed around systems, right? It's like a numbers or systems-focused role-playing game. Which kind of goes into my, like, loose, rough theory that I've been sort of building upon, is that there's three sorts of different pillars of role-playing game. There's, like, narrative-driven role-playing games that put storyline and branching narrative first. There's like systems role-playing, well, like, I don't know, mechanics role-playing games where they, well, not even mechanics, but like itemization role-playing games, right? So like your Path of Exiles, your Diablos, and stuff like that, where it's purely about like advancing the items and abilities of your character, right? That's the main focus of it. And then there's like a sandbox role-playing game, like pretty much most of Bethesda's role-playing games are sandbox role-playing games, right? And usually they dip into the other subgenres and whatnot, but They tend to focus on just one or the other. And Baldur's Gate I would totally classify as being more narrative driven. Even when it's not readily apparent, I still think it's like, that's the main focus of it. That's really what you're going for. I think maybe the way that you discern what kind of a role-playing game it is, not to get too off track here and into this wild theory of it, is the way you kind of tell which one it is you imagine a playthrough of that game where the player doesn't interact with that aspect of the game. And if you think oh, you're playing through Baldur's Gate, right? Sure, yeah, you're playing through Baldur's Gate and you're skipping through the dialogue and just doing the combat, right? If you heard that someone did that, you're thinking, wow, that's a really weird and wild way to tackle that game. Right, sure, maybe it is valid, and there probably are people that do find satisfaction in that, right? But the main attraction that most people tend to think that you want is interacting with the narrative and branching storylines and all of that, right? Is interacting with the world building, the sort of story being told. That's the main draw. So then, ergo, that must be what the game is about, right? It's oh, you're playing Path of Exile or Diablo, and you're not really caring about the itemization. You're only in it for the story, right? And it's whoa, holy shit. Because conversely, a game like Diablo is a game that I will skip dialogue in. I'll just be okay, yeah, demons. Diablo is here. All right, give me a cool fucking hammer to kill more dudes faster. The numbers need to go up, right? Just shit like that. Anyway, but yeah, sorry. That's just been something I've been thinking about for a while, these sorts of three big ideas, these three sort of archetypical role-playing games as they exist, which I think is also, in and of itself, a sort of a fool's task, because the role-playing game genre is so, I don't know if diluted is the right word, but so spread out everywhere, because so much shit takes from role-playing game systems as well, right? Fucking so many games that are shooters have a character progression system, They have it to where it's oh yeah, you're fucking advancing your weapons and stuff, you're getting XP, you're buying equipment and stuff to specialize your character, you're taking on the role of a different character in the mechanical systems at play, right? Or, conversely, in a game like fucking Red Dead Redemption or whatever, right? You're interacting with the narrative. Sometimes there's branching narrative choices that you make. You are inhabiting the role of this character. Although it's more of an action game, you are doing some amount of role-playing, right? So it's all kind of very muddy, right? And I do think it's kind of a fool's errand, so it's mostly just for fun. And it's not something I take too seriously, the whole, trying to define the role, or not the role, but the type of role-playing game that you're dealing with, right? It's mostly for fun. But so far, my guesses at the three, pillars of what a role-playing game could be, so far it's held up. So far it seems good. It seems solid enough of a foundation. Anyway, in 2023, after we play through Fallout 2, however long that may be, evidently it's fairly long, we'll hit up Baldur's Gate 2, and then after that, we will probably play Baldur's Gate 2's, Baldur's Gate 2's expansion content. We won't have a period of rest or whatever, right? Similar to how we did here with Siege of Dragonspear, because for this we did core game of Baldur's Gate, plus it's expansion DLC content that came out, or DLC content, but it's additional stuff. We did all of that, and then took a break, and then did Siege of Dragonspear, but that was purely to sort of replicate on a much smaller scale the weird nature of Siege of Dragonspear and how it was released significantly after the first game came out and by a completely different development team. That was sort of hopefully to replicate that feeling. I feel like we got a bit of it, right? It felt weird enough. But whereas for Baldur's Gate 2, there's not nearly as big of a gap between those releases as far as I know. We're talking like a year or two at most, which is nothing compared to how Siege of Dragonspear was handled. But yeah, we'll hit those up. We'll see what's up. I'm surprised at how little they gave us to go off of for the ending here. I frankly thought that there would be way more. That we would be way more clued into how Baldur's Gate 2 begins, right? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. Either way, very much looking forward to it. I've heard really incredible things about it. I think we're in for a fucking treat as far as the CRPG slot is concerned for a while now, right? Between Fallout 2 and Baldur's Gate 2, two like fucking killer sequels to these like seminal classics. You know? People say that they very much still hold up and all that. Looking forward to it. Right? And hey, maybe we'll finish all of it before Baldur's Gate 3 is ready to go, right? They're still shooting to get that done next year in 2023. So who knows, maybe it'll end just around the right time. Who can say? All right, and of course, as always, thank you so much for watching, right? Thank you so much for tuning in to these fun, silly videos. Thanks for watching Baldur's Gate Siege of Dragonspear. Even if you only watched Siege of Dragonspear and you didn't watch the direct prequel to it, right? And maybe you choose not to watch Baldur's Gate 2 when we eventually get around to it. Maybe you only watch this video. Thank you. Thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing, hitting us up on Patreon or Ko-fi, doing the YouTube sort of super thanks, super membership, or whatever it's called. Appreciate all of that. Thank you so much. Hope to see you in the future. Please, take care of each other.